hardcore trophy hunter, I'm often obsessed with increasing my platinum number, but I'm a trophy hunter and not a platinum hunter, and I've been guilty of avoiding games that don't have a platinum before. So I picked 5 games that I would have loved to have platinumed, but instead had to pretend I was an Xbox achievement hunter for, and had to get the 100% for that game instead. And the numero uno game on that list to start with was Journey, a supposedly great indie game that I put off for years because, well, it didn't have a platinum trophy. But I only heard great things about it. People loved the story and the atmospheric visuals, so naturally I was eager to finally try it out myself. However, I saw that not a lot of people have the 100%, so I downloaded the game and took a quick glance at the trophy guide before starting. With 2 playthroughs necessary, but it also being super short, I started my first ever playthrough Stevie Wonder style to clean up the remaining trophies in a second run. Experiencing this beautiful game for the first time was definitely a journey. The gameplay was super basic, with it being just a walking sim, but the goal was to reach the top of the mountain whilst discovering the ancient civilization. I came across a few glowy things, but thought those were the collectibles, so I didn't focus on them just now. I was trying to piece together the story which was uncovering before my eyes, which was about an ancient civilization that fell to ruins. And after only an hour or 2, I approached the summit, and our little Cape friend started to struggle and feelings were definitely felt. But as the credits rolled, I wasn't sure how to feel. I'm not really sure how to feel. I mean, that was an experience to be sure, like, that was beautiful. But to say that I'm like blown away or anything, I don't know. The story I was very invested in, but like, I don't know what really just happened. Did we just go on a journey? Is that it? So I started a new playthrough, but first looked through each trophy to see what was needed. And that's where I saw a trophy that I was a little worried about. The trophy wonder was for meeting 10 unique travelers. These travelers are actually real people, not just some NPC. But on my first playthrough, I hadn't met anyone at all. And running into 10 other people on a single player game that initially released on the ancient PS3 was something I wasn't sure was even possible. So I decided to start with finding all the collectibles first and hopefully run into some people along the way. The first area I came across in the new playthrough already had a miscellaneous trophy, which was for crossing the bridge without rebuilding it. So after finding all the collectibles in that area, I jumped up and after a few attempts, crossed the bridge and popped the trophy. But I hadn't seen anyone here either, and since this was the first and most populated area of the game, I reloaded and went back hoping to meet at least one of the 10 people I needed, and perhaps even play through the game with for another trophy. And this is where it dawned on me how hard these trophies were going to be. I waited for over 30 minutes but hadn't seen a single other player yet. I didn't even know if I was doing it correctly, so I just thought about coming back for it later, until right then I finally found a fellow traveler. I couldn't believe there was someone else here, but my happy feelings had to quickly be put to the side as I needed to think about the trophies I needed. I found one of the 10 people, but I also needed to complete an entire playthrough with one. However, an easier trophy first would be for meditating together, which took some tries to get him to understand what I was trying to tell him, but after some non-verbal communication, he finally understood. Please, just 20 seconds. Yes! Yes! Yes!
12 seconds later.
Yes! Thank you, bro. Now, I still needed to finish the game with him, but since I don't know who this is or where he's from, like, I can't just message the guy, so I was just hoping he would finish it with me. I glued myself to his bum and stayed next to him at all times and proceeded through the story. I completely neglected the collectibles and would come back to that later, as this trophy was now my only priority. I did pop a different miscellaneous trophy for sliding through some gates along the way. 15, 16... 17, there we go. Nice. And I must say, it was pretty fun to play together. It added a different feeling to the story that I can't really describe. All I know is that it was a lot more meaningful, because once we reached the end together, it was time to part ways and say an emotional goodbye. I want to walk together. I want to walk together, dude. Companions met along the way. Thank you. Chimix 2099. Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you, Chimix 2099. but Chimix was just one of the 10 that I needed for the Wonder Trophy. But since it was the weekend, I thought there might be more players playing right now, so I went back to the first area to find more people. And to my genuine surprise, I actually found some more travelers. I found traveler after traveler, each feeling like a mini trophy itself, and after waiting in that area for an hour or two, found around 6 or 7 people, which was insane. And with that many now found, I decided to finally go back and do the collectibles, hoping to run into a few more travelers further in the game in my final playthrough. So I popped a few of the collectible trophies already, and even one for a reference to a familiar game that you might recognize. I continued the story, further understanding the deeper meaning of it, with more collectible trophies popping until I finally ran into a fellow traveler again. Yo, there's someone here. Wonder! Yes! Oh my god, that is such a relief, bro. I thought I still needed like 4 people. What? Oh my god, I love it. Thank you so much. I got one final collectible trophy further in that level before having one single trophy remaining for the platinum trophy, 100%. However, this was a bit of a weird trophy as I had to wait 7 days before being able to pop it. Sure, I could cheat it by changing the PS5 dates, but I actually want it legit. So after coming back exactly 1 week later, I was ready to pop the last trophy. However, my footage got corrupted, so here's the proof. It popped like 2 seconds after starting up the game. Like, trust me, it's not an illusion. The next game I had lined up was Roblox. You see, I actually knew nothing about Roblox. The oof sound and this weird picture is pretty much everything that was stored in my memory banks. I always thought that it was a Minecraft ripoff, a game where you build and explore things. So before getting stuck into it, I looked at the trophy guide, which explains how simple and easy the trophies are to obtain. Play 15 games, play with 3 friends, and play for 1 hour are the only notable ones. And once I booted up the game for the first time, I quickly found out what Roblox was really about. This wasn't a Minecraft ripoff, no, this was a massive hub for all sorts of different genres and game modes. And before I even knew it, I already popped the first trophy. So with an overwhelming amount of games to pick from, I just joined something that looked interesting and popped another trophy simply for playing that game. But that game wasn't great, so I searched up the only game mode that I had seen on my For You page. Oh dude, I look f***ing fantastic. New model. Yo, let me do it like, yes, slay. But that's about as far as I could go with my fashionista skills, as I just couldn't figure it out. As these games are all built by community members, the controls weren't exactly optimized. The tutorial was confusing and everything was just numbing my noodle. So I didn't exactly do well on the catwalk and backed out to a different game that I knew better. And that was Squid Game, because I'd watched the TV show, which meant that it was easy to understand and follow. This was also going to be the game mode I decided to play for an entire hour in order to unlock the hardest trophy, Marathon. Not only because it takes an hour, but specifically because I have to play the Wish version of Squid Games with terrible controls and gameplay for an entire hour. So I just messed around the game, not taking home any prize money until I approached the 60-minute mark waiting for the trophy to pop. That eventually never popped. And it's 21. I just wasted a fucking hour. I just wasted an entire hour playing this. Oh my god, what a fucking stupid experience. Oh my god. I just played a terrible game for over 60 minutes waiting for a trophy, but since the game technically resets the timer every time I reload the round, it never counted for more than 5 minutes. This sucked because I'd have to play another 60 minutes somewhere else again. But I also still had other trophies to go for, so longtime channel member I Am Lost invited me to a game that I would enjoy more, which is where I popped 2 quick trophies. Just give me the trophy and I'm deleting this game, dude. Like, we've already got it. W lost. And another. I realized that this game mode was infinitely better than everything I'd played before and was low-key not that bad. But I had trophies to pop, so I rated 5 games for another trophy and then just started playing anything and everything to speed up the trophies. I could just hop in and out of the game for it to count, and because of that method discovered some more decent games. And after playing 15 of the strangest, weirdest and most iPad kid brain rot games of all time, I finally popped the trophy. There we f***ing go. This left me with just one trophy remaining for playing an entire hour. But since I was streaming all of this, subscribe so you never miss a stream, I played another horror game together with the goofiest true nerd skin I've ever seen. However, I just couldn't care or enjoy much or any of these weird games, so I just ended stream. Let me know if my expectations were wrong, but I was expecting Roblox to be something different other than all of these half-baked games with more pop-ups to buy in-game currency than when looking for hot singles in my area. But I came back over a week later to play yet another hour of Roblox for the final trophy. I tried the car game I thought was decent from last time, but after about 4 minutes I'd seen everything and left my controller to AFK away to the marathon trophy, which meant that after another hour of waiting, I finally popped the remaining Roblox trophy for the 100%. Thankfully, I would never have to play it again and could move on to the next game. Because although Roblox was a terrible experience, the next few games I had lined up were much better. Starting with a game I had on my PlayStation Store wishlist for ages before it finally went on sale. And that was LEGO Builder's Journey. Yeah, it was time to go on another journey, but this time in LEGO, a much less popular LEGO game that I don't think many of you have played. But I was super excited to try it out, as most of you know by now I really like LEGO, and I've platinumed a bunch of LEGO games before, but this one was very different to the rest. Firstly, because it doesn't have a platinum trophy, but also because this is a very different type of LEGO game, as it's not in a minifig scale, but rather on a miniature scale, and also has a much more calm and mature vibe. With the game's 13 trophies all being rewarded for playing through the story, I didn't need a guide and jumped right in. It starts with the story about a father and son duo that go on a camping adventure trip, and within seconds I knew this was exactly my type of game. It's LEGO, I mean, just by looking at this you can see how pretty and cute it is. There was gorgeous lighting and some very basic puzzle solving where I have to lay out the path for the little guy to take. It was super adorable, calm and relaxing to play through until the inevitable happened, where the father had gone to get some milk. This is where we were now tasked with reuniting them, but that was halted when I struggled to figure out the puzzle. Oh, I am so dumb. I am genuinely so dumb. I am genuinely so dumb. That's not gonna be the last time that happens. It wasn't even because they were hard, but because my low IQ brain just wasn't functioning properly. So I continued further, just enjoying the game for what it was. It was gorgeous to look at, fun to play with Legos, and really made me calm with the ambient music. All that was great until the game crashed, which got me scared, thinking my progress would be reset as there was no save slots or indications anywhere. Luckily, I panicked for no reason as I could continue the level I was at, but it did stay in the back of my head that the game could crash at any given moment and ruin my experience. I kept popping more trophies at major story points, and it wasn't until a level much later that I would obviously become stuck again and had to power on my 2 brain cells. Oh, I get it. Okay, next one will work. Alright, well we gotta send ourselves up, so let's get a few of these. Oh. Stuff's happening now. What the? Where did he come from? Yes. Come on, we got it. Yes. I'm gonna be reunited. No way. Of course it breaks now. I continued on towards the end of the game where I had the help of a little robot to give me some bricks. And it's where I noticed I would actually want to build some of these sets myself, as they were all made from actual LEGO pieces. Making our way through some stunning forest areas, mountains, deserts, caves, or whatever else the levels were, they were all so stunning, and I know I'm repeating myself here, but I just really liked this game. And after some more puzzle solving and having the robot brick me up a few more times, we finally got the father and son reunited at last. Together. But the story wasn't done just yet, as I still had to create a happy ending by building a beautiful ship myself. So I tried creating one that says like and subscribe on it, but that wasn't possible, and so building this ship wasn't as straightforward as the rest of the game. I can't put it anywhere else, there's no other options. What is this? Am I this dumb? Bro, what? Apparently I was that dumb. With that monstrosity of a ship now built, we could fly off into the distance and head back home to pop the final trophy. Builder's Journey. Well, I mean, it's not a platinum, but that's as close as we get. Journey complete. I like it. Highly recommend this game. Now before heading into the game that inspired me to make this video, let's go to a game that I started many months ago, because Valorant seemingly launched on console out of nowhere, and knowing how big and popular of a game it is on PC, I was extremely excited to try it out on console, but at the same time also quite skeptical as how it would play on a roller. See, I'm a bit of an FPS nerd, as it's easily my favorite genre of video games, but Valorant is a very different FPS game to what I'm used to. It is a 5v5 tactical hero shooter, but what really sets this apart from other games is the gunplay, because after your first few shots leave your gun, your bullets don't go to where you're aiming, as they have a predetermined recoil pattern, meaning that you have to know and adjust to where they land, and if you're walking or moving, then you might as well not even try to shoot the enemy. So that was going to be a big learning curve. Valorant has 16 trophies, and you can get the 100% in around 40 hours if you just play TDM. However, I wanted to play ranked throughout, as that's how the game should be played. But before unlocking ranked, I needed to complete the tutorial where I got familiar with the uncomfortable controls, and after completing that, I jumped straight into a game of TDM to warm up. This is where I got my first ever kill and should have popped the trophy, but since the game only pops them at the end of a match, it wouldn't be until later that I got the trophy, plus another one for winning the round. Now, a lot of the other trophies are progression based, like for getting a ton of damage, headshots, using abilities or ultimates, but also some more miscellaneous trophies for earning a flawless round, a clutch, wall bangs, getting a thrifty, an ace, or defusing the spike with less than 1 second remaining, which was the next trophy I earned, but I'll only show the clip because the trophy will pop like 3 minutes later. But since I knew I was going to be playing Valorant for a long time, I was determined to get as good as I can get at the game. To do this, I was going to be grinding ranked and practicing my aim, learning strats and lineups, team compositions, the whole shebang. I wanted to be that sweaty tryhard in the game. So I played some unranked and swift play before we unlocked ranked, and that's also where I earned my first clutch. And just a couple rounds later, our team got a flawless. That's another 2 trophies down, but I was yet to earn the hardest trophy so far, which was for destroying the entire 5-man enemy team myself and getting an ace. But since I was straight garbage at the game, and to be fair everyone else was except for the PC nerds that transferred over, getting an ace wasn't easy. But it was still only the first day, and I wasn't too worried about getting it just then. So I came back the next day for my newfound addiction, and after just a few matches, I activated my inner tens. Where is he?
Left side, yeah. Nice.
Fucking hell. That is my ace.
Better then. Well, that was the ace.
Oh my god. I was having a lot of fun with this game, learning the maps, guns, agents, and all sorts of other things. But I was also really struggling to understand the game. For example, to control my gun, because my word did the gunplay feel unnatural and really uncomfortable. And that was definitely my biggest issue. But I thought that the only way for me to increase my skill instantly was to buy some skins. So I started with the battle pass, which unfortunately for my wallet wasn't the last purchase I made. I got a few progression trophies throughout the next few days before I came to realize that the ace wasn't actually the hardest trophy at all. It was to get a thrifty. You see, for an ace, it was all dependent on me and my skill, but for thrifty, I needed the entire team to basically buy no guns, whilst the enemy team has a full loadout. Communicating this with my team was already hard enough, but then also having to win the round as well was just next level. I realized that I would need a 5-stack to specifically attempt this trophy. So I teamed up with Epic Piss, aka Kreft, Bad Game Enjoyer Satire, and 2 other lovely subscribers who were watching the stream and got together to attempt this trophy. We tried all sorts of things to get this done, from not buying anything and going pistol only, to then picking up their dropped weapons if we miraculously got a kill. But it was so hard and unfair, and with so many different variables at play, we got close so many times without success. It was really frustrating because this trophy was now bothering me for a week already, and even when trying to go for it with a 5-stack, we still couldn't do it. And after hours of trying this consistently, I was about to give up. He's on here, he's on here. Well, let me scan.
He's on door, double door.
He's weak, he's weak.
Swing alright. It's fine.
Don't overpeak though.
Just
Push him, you can swing him.
sure.
Fucking get in, lads. Fucking get in, lads. Fucking get in. Alright, say hello to the video, boys.
Hey, Sanders.
That was a huge relief, and now only the grindy trophies remained. But it also meant that I could now play the game normally and have the trophies come naturally, whilst being able to focus on tryharding and being the best controller Valorant player in the world. I finally unlocked ranked and did my placement matches, and I got placed in silver. Yeah, that was even lower than I expected, and I had a long way to grind to the top. So for the next weeks, I started no-lifing rank to get better and better. Watching YouTube tutorials, lineups, best skins, montages, tips and tricks, and everything else about the game. I was desperate to become good at it because it has a pretty steep learning curve, and I wanted to prove I was decent at every FPS I played. But things weren't always going the way I wanted. My Valorant brain cells hadn't been fully developed yet, and I didn't know what a good or bad play was. I couldn't read enemies, the map wasn't logged into my databank yet, and my aim, well, the less we talk about that, the better. But I was grinding almost daily and slowly making my way up the ranks, although I wasn't climbing quickly enough. And because all the default skins look doo-doo and paid ones are insanely gorgeous, like genuinely, please tell me I'm not the only one that thinks these skins are insane, I decided I needed to buy a few new skins to level up my ego, status, skills, and gameplay. So I checked the store daily to see what skins there were and eventually bit the bullet. It's so goddamn sexy. I think I'm gonna have to splash the cash. 50 euros for this, bro. Yeah, we're buying it. What did I just do? 50 euros for one king skin. Okay, but it is, Jesus Christ, actually really sexy. What a fucking waste of money, am I right? Anyway, this is why you like and subscribe. With a new beauty in my hands and me approaching the 100 hours played, I kept telling myself I would keep getting better and better. I'd climbed all the way up to diamond rank, but couldn't get any further. And as time went on and I started playing less consistently, I wasn't improving anymore. I did pop 2 more progression trophies, which left the 2 rarest ones for last. But those would be a crazy grind, and with me not getting any better, I decided to give up improving and just play casually. And although I was enjoying the game, I kind of fell away from it and started playing other games in between. And so months went by where I occasionally hopped back in for a couple games, but playing it was no longer part of my daily routine. My addiction was cured and I was still playing ranked whenever I was on, but I wasn't as stressed about losing and dying. Or well, at least I tried. No way, is there in our spawn, bro? What? I mean, I was just confused all the time and I just couldn't be interested in figuring it out. I accepted that Valorant was not my type of FPS to get good at. I liked the game, but I wasn't anywhere near good enough to play competitively or even seriously. And as summer turned into winter and I was finally nearing the end and needed just a few more ultimates for that trophy before getting all of them done in one game. Where's the trophy, bro? $2.99. I used like 3 ults. So I reloaded into another game, and even though I wasn't as invested in ranked as before, I still wanted to win. However, with random teammates in the game, that wasn't always easy, and when I needed just one more ultimate, this is what my teammates made me do. Oh my god, we all go here, like... What are we doing?
God is fuming.
This is my final ult. This is my final ult, YouTube. These are what teammates have done to me in this game. This game's absolutely only meant for crackheads. Holy f***. Thankfully, at the end of that round, the trophy popped and I had just 1 trophy remaining for using 4,000 abilities. Yes! You want to play? Let's play. I don't want to play anymore. I do not want to play anymore.
Me neither, man.
However, as you may have noticed, I was quite done with the game and wanted to uninstall it quickly. So I spammed some abilities in TDM to speed things up. However, ending Valorant in TDM didn't feel right, so I went back to ranked for one final game and to pop the final trophy. And after 7 months of ups and downs, loving the game, then despising the game, overcoming addiction to torture, spamming a few more abilities, this was the last ever Valorant game I'd played. Trophy, 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 trophy! We are finally done, bro. Take control.
Nope, you're staying.
We're out. And we're gone. Moving on to the game that inspired me to make this vid and something completely different from the mess I just played earlier is Firewatch. Another game I heard great stories about and never played because, well, it doesn't have a platinum trophy. The trophies in this game were a little different, as there's only 5 base game trophies for simply playing through the story, and another 5 DLC trophies for the 100%, which require you to do some specific things throughout. But I didn't look at any of those or the trophy guide before starting, since I heard that I just needed to play through this game blind and enjoy it for what it is. And after only a couple minutes inside, I already had a feeling. It was a super peaceful, calm and relaxing game set in 1989, where we play as Henry, a guy that we kind of create through some early dialogue choices, which was interesting and I didn't expect. And as we make our way through the first day, where we learn the main mechanics of walking and exploration, using a map and navigating the dense mountains and forest, I popped my first trophy. First trophy. Sitting in this tower waiting for a fire to break out was not something I thought was going to be exciting, but instead there was a lot of exploring the area using a map and tracking down some locations I needed to get to. And low-key bro, using a map was more difficult than I imagined. Like, just give me a GPS and some Google Maps and I'll be fine, but this was confusing at times. Thankfully it did have a tracker of my exact location, but even with that I realized my survival instincts weren't great. But after finishing day 2, I got another trophy. There were a couple of tourists and one ominous figure I saw earlier, so I knew I wasn't alone. Walking for 10 minutes from location to location was quite boring, but I was always scared that something would pop out and scare me, which, funnily enough, actually happened.
Shithouse.
Okay, that scared me. This is where things became quite spooky and I became paranoid about my surroundings. Whilst talking to the woman in another tower, she mentioned something about people disappearing and it made everything even more tense. I did start to notice the characters were bonding quite well and started to form a real connection. All this chatter was making them close and it was borderline flirting as he was rizzing her up. But it was always spooky with some weird group or person that was hunting or stalking us. I popped my first accidental DLC trophy for getting stung by a bee, before having an enhanced feeling of what I said earlier because I found a campsite with a ton of strange equipment. It made me more and more invested in this small world and story. The gameplay wasn't exciting, but the story was fun to follow. However, all of these discoveries about missing people, getting knocked out, this campsite and others disappearing eventually led to someone interfering with our radios. We start to track this down and are led to a cave where we have a Logan Paul moment as we found a kid that got sent back to the lobby. We start to question a lot of things. Who did this? Was it on purpose? Was it accidental? But before we got any real answers, a wildfire spreads and we are forced to evacuate. However, before leaving, we are finally led to a hideout where we uncover the real dark truths about who was stalking and tracking us. We learned that it was the kid's father. It was accidental and he tried to interfere with us by leading us onto different tracks to stay away from him and the truth. It was all very sad, but there was no time for emotion as we had to get out of the forest before it burned us alive. So we sprint to the helicopter waiting for us and we say goodbye to our pen pal lady from earlier before leaving and ending the game popping the final story trophy. But before going for the DLC trophies, I just sat there thinking about what I just went through. I felt that the story itself concluded with a really open end and I didn't get the satisfying ending I was hoping for. But it was a great game and I can now do the 4 DLC trophies remaining. However, that again wasn't as straightforward as I had hoped. I read through the trophies and trophy guide for the first time and it's where I noticed that they are technically just miscellaneous trophies for the story and not some extra content that I thought. It meant that they were sort of missable and I would need to replay the game. So naturally I was pretty stressed because I really didn't want to do that and play throughout the whole story again. Luckily, I came across Free Roam and that's where I got my first trophy that I knew was possible for finding a raccoon. Thank God. But this is where it got confusing because technically all the trophies were possible in Free Roam and the next trophy I needed was only 5 meters away from here. Yet when I got there I needed an axe to get past. But it was Free Roam and I didn't have an axe on me anymore. So I walked all the way back to the other side of the map where the axe was initially, for it not to be there. And after being mega confused as to where it was and really not wanting to play through the entire game again, I looked further and found an axe in the main tower. So I went back to the branch needed and thankfully popped the trophy. I found some more of the supplies I found in the story tucked away in the tower, meaning I could get another trophy in Free Roam and quickly made my way to that location and found a super cute Flip the Turtle. Oh my god, that is adorable. We're keeping that. Yep, we're keeping that. And that is a trophy. I'm really gonna hope that the last trophy is possible to be obtained in the very last save file that I have, hopefully. So I reboot the final save slot from where I finished the game, hoping that it would spawn me somewhere where I could use my camera and take some pictures. Please, please, please have a camera. The relief that just went through my body. Alright, take 16, 15 pics, and the final trophy, aka the platinum, should pop. Thank you. Thank you. Because as good as the story was, the walking sim gameplay was very boring and slow, so I was relieved to not have to do that again. And it also meant that I had now played 5 great games that I should have and would have played earlier were I not an addicted trophy hunting nerd. But if you want to see me 100% another game without a platinum, then check out this video. And that's it. See ya!